Hi, welcome back. My World 67, this is G-Man. Well, I have here that 9273 Southern Lionel caboose that I got with the K-Line engine. And I've went through it and found the problems with it. And the major problem with it was rust on the wheels and on the chassis. You can see here this white piece of aluminum that I attached to this plastic with Duro cement. Um, this chassis, and try to give you a close up, was all rusted out. A better angle. This chassis was all rusted out right in here. This whole piece was completely rotted, rusted out, and so that left this hole in a ragged edge all around to here. And so I got my grinder out, used a lightweight grinding wheel and my Dremel, and I ground the surface of this all off and got it smooth and clean. And this is all rusted in here too, and I got most of that out. Did a little hand sanding also. Let me move that shell, get that around so you can see a little better. And the rust was from here all the way up to here. And so we got rid of all that rust, and I took this piece of aluminum, as I said, and I glued this to the chassis, and after I ground it all off and attached the clamps on it and let this sit overnight, and now it's a nice solid surface. And then I went back and put some more Duro cement over top of the metal and overlapped it onto the chassis and down this side to kind of even it out a little bit. And as that is dried, and it is dried, it's become very hard, and it's almost even, and it's smooth. And that's what I was trying to accomplish, was wanting to accomplish. So without close examination, you'll not even be able to see really that that repair was made. Of course, when you go in, if you ever open it and look on the inside, you'll see that this is a separate piece. Also, it had rusted, started to rust into right here. This was a rust area, and it was completely rusted out. I just took it, pinched it between my fingers, and that little part right there just fell off. It was eroded so bad. Same thing right here was starting. It was bad, jagged edge, ground it off. And then I took some rust arrestor that I had and put it on, and when it dries kind of a flat gray or flat black, I guess. And it had some other little spots, so I just went ahead and cleaned them up and put some of that rust arrestor on them also. The wheels were starting to badly deteriorate, and I took them and I had to grind them down to metal. Didn't take much, but all of that old oxide and deteriorated metal was like turning basically to powder. I mean, you could just, if you got it wet, it soaked up moisture. And that's how bad it was. And then we have one wheel, I think it's this one right here. Let's see, it's this one. That's completely, one side of it was completely gone. Hit a big chunk out of the wheel, basically. And ground it down and reshaped it. It is right there. And so it's not too bad, but I'm going to have to replace that wheel eventually. And I have some wheels somewhere. This is the worst one. You see that? And ground them all down. Polished them up. Got them back to solid metal. I'm going to spray them down with some WD. The trucks were the same way. You see they're still kind of green. Got a kind of a greenish on from just sitting in the water. The water must have been up to at least the chassis level. I cleaned them up as best as I could. There's something in here that stained this one that's still there, and I can't get it out. I've tried to prick it out. I've tried to pull it out with a wire brush. It just won't come out. It's into the metal. So we're not going to worry about it. It's all been cleaned up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this chassis gloss black, I think. And I'm going to paint these side frames gloss black, and the knuckle cuppers, I'm just going to take it out and we're going to spray it. The car itself, the shell, really nice condition. Had a few little minor scratches on it, but it's in really nice condition. Otherwise, no breaks, no cracks. I do have places where there's rust stain that will not come out of the plastic, like right there. And I could take some green paint, same color or near color, and go over that and it just disappear. But I'm not going to even worry about it. The caboose ends are both good. They're plastic. That one's good. And this one's good. Now this one had the ladder on it. But even the ladder, you can see right here, for some reason or another was rusted through. Almost as if there was some kind of acid on it or something that ate through it. And so this is what I've done. And I could have used a bread tie, but it wouldn't have been as strong. I've taken a paper clip and I've cut off the end of the paper clip, the length that I needed to fix that one bar, and I replaced that one bar, that section of that one bar, with that paper clip. And we're going to paint that black also. And I did that by using an adhesive. On this one particular one, I used the Duro cement too, and that Duro cement's really good for this kind of stuff. If it doesn't hold it, we'll go back and we'll use some JB Weld on it. and we know that, or some epoxy, straight epoxy, and when we know that it will stay in place. Okay, that's it for the caboose for now. And I'm going to paint that, and while that's being painted, we're going to go out and we're going to run those southern engines. Okay, here we are. And we got a trolley on. Get this trolley off of here. And we've got the two southern engines here on the layout. And excuse the layout, still in a big mess and getting ready to make another mess again, I guess, so we can try to add some of that old 34 track. But anyway, here are those two southern engines. And what I've had to do with them, I went ahead and I took them apart, cleaned them some more, cleaned them up some more. The electrical boards in them were good. The circuit boards were good. There was a little, you could tell a little bit of moisture had gotten in to the cabs, but it wasn't anything really bad to speak of. Just a little moisture. I cleaned them out, blew them out, and sprayed some WD over the circuitry, let it dry, then he went in and tried to clean up the residue of what was left. That'll help keep moisture out of it in the future. And so here we go. Bad section of track right there. I'm having track problems today. For some reason or another. It's coming off right here. Huh. Don't know why it's doing that. Okay, let's go back and run this one on this track, the inside track. Now I've got a Marks crossover in here, and sometimes the K-line engines and the Lino engines don't like a crossover. And that seems to be the case. Today. Must not be on track. Sorry guys, I should have tested them, pre-tested it and pre-ran it before I got out here. This is what happens when you do live. You don't go ahead and run it through first. There's a problem coming out of that tunnel. We've got a wheel off. Well, today's just not a good day for